Tela though able to get the answer. A site taken by Enigma, while Myth all around the map looking for perhaps some duels, some scraps. Rexy trying to face off against Deland, and this is going to be Myth converging towards that A site.
Yeah, but this is awkward for Myth because look at how much Enigma have spread themselves out throughout the map. You see there, that player be on the flank with Rafuel. We know his name, and this is his game. 3 kills already to start things off on the pistol, and it's all down to Deland. Last remaining member here from Myth does get taken down by Rexy, and speaking of the devil, that's why I meant the fact that they had Rexy all the way there towards C, and they also had Antidote still there towards that lobby, towards that grass entrance, meant it was so much more awkward for Myth to just go for a straight retake, knowing that there was much more presence elsewhere on the map from Enigma.
Yeah, they were so scattered and they didn't have the numbers to make that retake work, but Curse finally broken all the way back in the playoffs with that SCS. Enigma Gaming could not even find a single first round win in any of their playoff series. This time, they're trying to prove that they can wake up early. Different time zones to deal with, as this is the APAC stage. And Enigma are ready to prove that they are someone to fear. Myth, though, on the other side, always been a stable force to watch out for. And Kadum has really been flying those charts for the high statistics. Antidote now pushing on forward. Spectres in hand here for Enigma. And here comes Rafuel, able to fuel this furnace yet again. 2 already to side of Enigma. Nice drag there from Conquerred, but Enigma is just already knocking on the doorstep of Made in Thailand. And Wannafly will wanna die after that one. RVK with 3K, and it's 2-0 for Enigma Gaming.
An RKO from RVK there at the end. From the top of the rope, he pulls Wannafly down. 2-0. Great start here. The ref has got him pinned. Enigma, very good start, and this is definitely an Enigma that we are not commonly used to seeing from them. Taking those opening 2 rounds, very good start, but that's if they've been winning games by losing the opening pistol. Doesn't happen here.
This is a very good sign, honestly, for Enigma Gaming. They not only usually lose that first pistol, but go down in terms of the scoreline after that first half. So this is already for Enigma one of the best scenarios that they can have in the first place. And they're not stopping whatsoever. Rafuel, he already has that gun in hand. I'm willing to even say that he's probably like the best jet player right now from South Asia, especially with SK Rossi and Deathmaker changing it up to be more on that chamber role. Conquerred, though, watching out by the garage. This is a buy round here from Myth. They need to make this defense work still. They're looking for those duels, looking for those picks. And that's one interesting aspect to talk about, because both sides really favor getting that first kill in their squad's favor.
Well, oh my goodness. Look at that dink here. Early information. Early damage done here by Enigma. Spectres abound, but they can still make this work. Bunch of players here from Myth to try and anchor things down, but playing close range in these committed positions can be the end of him. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. The Trailblazer will get information on health, swing on wide, and Rafuel's going to get that kill. Wannafly, the only player to get something going, but everything's going to crumble down here on the defensive side from Myth as Enigma have taken over the site. It's all going to be left on the Dell end in a 1v2, and unless some bell-ended moves are thrown here by Enigma, this should be a 3rd round in the pocket.
Yeah, this is already straight on for Enigma Gaming, and Rexy doesn't even need assistance. Deland cannot defend. Bonus is 1, and South Asia are rising truly from the ashes of stage 1. Perhaps a phoenix here in stage 2.
Doesn't matter.
I called it at the start of that before the execute. Like, they're playing committed positions, low HP on an ace site against Spectres, really. So what exactly here is the game plan, and how will it work on out? It doesn't. So for Myth to commit to that fight there, I think that was the big decision that really secured that loss for them. That was theirs to lose, and that they did. Enigma, great bonus though, to be able to pile that on up, and they're just so impressive when it comes to those gunfights, that really becomes such a big turning point for Myth. How do we deal with them? How do we even outshoot people who can just destroy us in these gunfights? And this eco rounds, Antidote, amazing flick there. He's got the cure for the sickness, but Wannafly's got an answer. Rexy will shut him down, but the damage has been done, and Conquerred's gonna go absolutely insane with a shot too.
With a Sheriff's RVK cannot hit the shots, finally able to reset. Conquerred goes down. Substantial damage done by Myth, still winnable in the 2v2 scenario because the reinforcements have arrived. Yeah, so can even set the start here for the side of Myth. But they still have to be careful. This is an SEA squad that they are dealing with. They know how potent SEA squads are, especially given their history against the region. But RVK, keep an eye out. Nightfall might be upon us really at the dawn of this series. And he's priming that ultimate. Perhaps when we have Antidote in position, that's when the two angles will become one. Nightfall right now getting the connection onto Alan Fills. This will prove that he is over on the platform, but his platform is perfect to get rid of Antidote anyway, kicking him away and find the logs. Well, RBK would not be able to get that done. A thrifty win from Myths, made in Thailand, waking up when they need to the most.
Finally, smart decision there by Myth to be able to play those positions that have a lot more difficulty for the attacking side to try and contest when they're holding pixel angles like that.
I think the ult was way too early.
Hit the goalpost, bounced in.
Maybe waited for the smoke to go.
Gets Myth.
And then
opening round here. A round they needed. Operator out now. Finally for Kadoom. This is where we know he has made a huge mark in the past. With that op in his hands as a Jet. Continue to do that here. It could be the case. A long looking to be contested by Enigma early on, but it's a fake. They try and sell the bait, but I'm not too sure if Myth bite on.
Yeah, that's the case, but Kadoom has been so consistent here for Myths, and the times that he struggles, that's when really Myth falters, especially against that series versus FW. But the other side, full sense performance, that is where we do see that. But we see for Enigma, Rockfield, Excali, and RVK already getting on the board. They overrun that C side, and it's perfect timing here for Enigma Gaming because it's still Kadoom away from the action. This operator
just say right.
Don't get much value now. That locale. Making sure that even on the other side, C-Long being covered by RVK, Kadoom creeping on in. But since they have a little bit of a semblance, this can be an op on the other side. Trying to play the cover game. Paranoia into play. Antidote trying to time it right there. And Enigma, it was just such a swoop here, Black and Blue. They went straight for that C site, and even mid-sentence, I have to stop because Enigma stopping the action for the round from the get-go.
And RVK stopping Deland in his tracks when
Deland
to get you. Find some Let's go, boys. To try and stay safe and maybe find a pick when they push the smoke. That single prowler gave the trick away. It was all they needed to secure the round for the day.
Your fade is like pop tape.
This is an amazing start for them. We typically see them be very mentally strong to come back in a losing situation when they don't have the rounds in their favor and close it out in the end. But in this case, they get an opening lead, and this is exactly the type of Enigma I was expecting to see, and more importantly, I wanted to see here. So Myth, early timeout, I don't think it's ill-advised. They do have some cards to play with an operator here, Blades as well for Kadoom, and those ultimates are super high impact, but their economy just might not be the best at this moment.
Yeah, and it seems like for Myth in their journey to be minimum that second best team in Thailand vying for that first is they're quite the big game hunters, to say the least. You look at the recent results, they take maps away from the likes of Sersha. They effectively eliminate full sense from making it to the APAC stage. But they lose out to Cinderella runs like the one that we saw from FW Esports. And this is where it's kind of concerning for Myth that if they perhaps underestimate their opponent, they don't see too much, I'd say, renown to the squad compared to some of the bigger names that they're looking forward to. Will they have that same kind of lethality? Because that's what they can falter in those kind of certain matchups. So concerning still for Myth. It hasn't really been the most consistent run from them. The players like Kadoom, like Wannafly and Alan Fills, there are moments where Myth just wakes on up when they finally find the frags that they need. And perhaps a single signal flare. All that they need. Single. Now another round. The guns are out. And Enigma looking to vie for that A site this time.
The flare can just be a way for the opposing side to find out exactly what you're planning. And so they can tell they're rallying here. They can adjust accordingly. You do have Conga Red early on. Trailblazer gives off some intent. Myth are here, but don't really have full information how much of that exactly. Great Paranoia will connect. Not to initiate, but just to deny contrasting information as well. Rexy up on top from the heaven. He sends him down to hell. Conga Red and the Lone Pills taken down. Double initiators removed off of the round. And that just gives Myth pretty much no chance of this. I think they're going to save straight up Dex.
Yeah, this is over. You can't retake with the operator properly. Sure, you can try to force things out with your ultimates, but there's no point this early on into the half, and that's it. Enigma Gaming, again, just before the timeout, they just executed their play and they were
Nice.
done. Now they execute their
I'm
play,
gonna
they
be
make Rexy
clean,
do
boy.
the work from up top. And mid caught napping yet again. This is just perfect right now for Enigma because in a pinch, they start looking for that contact. But when their plays and executes work from the initial point, then you can see how stable this squad are. Kazum, though, he does have that Blade Storm ready for the next one. I do believe mid can have a lot of tools at least for the next few rounds in terms of the ultimates. But their money situation is getting even more awkward. And this is just Enigma in complete control of this half.
That play dex,
Someone
that's
press
something I
tab,
have been
please,
seeing
please.
quite at an uptick here, really, when you can
Press
tell that
tab,
the
bitch.
defensive side on the A side is
Yo,
a bit
gosh,
forward.
press
In that
tab,
case,
bro,
they're pressuring
bro,
long,
bro.
pressuring
Tap the
towards source.
bar, tap the bar.
That means that there's a very
Oh.
small chance that there's somebody actually still in heaven on the defensive side. That allows an Omen with an ultimate to be able to TP his way all the way there. Combining that with the fact that he threw a Paranoia right before it to try and deny the sound cue on Conga Red specifically there from Sewers, as well as hitting his Trailblazer, then it gave them an even bigger window of opportunity for him to literally hop in the window and take them down from. So great job here by Enigma to recognize that. Once again, something I have been seeing kind of in an uptick. It's not the first time I've seen this in a pro game, but it isn't super common just yet. And for teams to realize that strength of the ultimate and Omen and really make that play
YB
successful,
coach.
it is
Coach
quite
YB doing
impressive
great.
to recognize just how forward Myth is and realizing that means probably very small chances that someone's actually
pause.
marking heaven or even playing in heaven in that case.
No, I mean, that's the perfect point, right? It's either you mark someone is on heaven, or you mark that no one is on heaven, and you can actually execute with the From the Shadows. If pretend we had Kajum there in position, then Rex is gonna be like, oh, the sniper's here. You guys want to go somewhere else? They could go for that rotate. And Enigma, they are just so sure about their decisions right now, while mid look absolutely shaken, and we're actually gonna get the technical pause. I didn't expect. I was kind of in the hopeful mood that we're not gonna be getting technical pauses, but this is
Yeah.
APAC. And no matter who, no matter what, it's gonna happen between this region. So a little bit of time to talk. I actually still want to talk about this series rather than our usual random
Cautious
banter.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because
Temple
this
Run?
is a lot of background right now for Enigma that I feel like,
Observer
especially on
is
the
playing-
SEA side, people need to know that this is a squad that finally found their final form at the start of the year with Excali in. Raw Fuel has become one of the most improved players of South Asia. He is, I believe, homegrown by Enigma Gaming, being the stable point of this roster. And one thing that I see from the South Asian squads is they understand that to try and beat, especially SEA, they're looking for that outside help. So I see that they have this support structure with some local assistance and whatnot, but they also have these, I believe, foreign coaches here for Enigma, for global esports, that they're really trying to push forward the region to a completely different standard. And with how Enigma's playing right now, the fruits of their labor are bearing fruit right now in this series so far.
You know how I know that Raw Fuel is big time? Because remember last year, the first time that we saw an SA team actually play against other regions was in LCQ. And I remember a question proposed to me, how did I know that SK Rossi is going to be big? Well, he kept on coming up on my YouTube feed, just on the random early on last year. And the same thing has been happening for Raw Fuel nowadays, lately, like even before this tournament, like months ago. And so I'm like, you know, let me check this dude out, and he has been stellar. And it's one of the reasons why I tuned into the VCT to see how he does in pro play. And he's looking like he steps up as well, just as good, even, if not better here against Myth.
Nice
Antidote. Wow, what an opening for him to find very deep angles, but the judge doesn't find anything. Throw that out of the court because Enigma, they've taken the C site for themselves.
Objecting, Your Honor, and absolutely overruled by Enigma. They did not falter whatsoever, and the first kill coming their way yet again.
That hurts,
Immediately,
bro.
the round is over. Mid cannot do anything else. They do get to pick up a gun here for Conga Red. A mid contest, perhaps at least.
That's so
or two
unlucky.
to help them out.
Oh, that
The
cage.
money is just going in favor
Whiffing with
of
the
Enigma
judge.
Gaming
Oh,
right now.
I mean,
And mid is just
that was a panic
walking
situation.
forwards. Rexy, the will fall. Conga Red.
You cannot
Something
do anything there.
Devil's Judo, and nice turnaround to get rid of Excali. Perhaps a second win here for the side of Mix. Because we do have Antidote a bit far on the way. We're trying to see if someone's gonna come through the double doors, but RBK already getting one. Talon Bills is there the answer.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter. The economy is so good.
Stoke it
The economy is so good, it doesn't even matter if they lose players.
Nothing he really needs to peak with, just swing dry, swing raw, and deliver in full. 6-1, Enigma. Amazing opening start for them here. Shutting down whatever intent Myth have on the guns or even on the eco side. A judge definitely could have found
I think he
more,
panicked because of the sky ult.
let's not lie, a bit fortunate they didn't go
I
down to
mean,
at
I
least
can
one of them,
understand
but
that.
in the end, they do.
We all have been there.
Myth, they brought to 2 players left remaining for Enigma, so there's a chance. They're hurting the economy just a bit, but they have to do a lot more of that because Enigma are rolling in the sheets right now. They're rolling in all the bank that they've made. Looking at Enigma, spreading themselves out. They're giving Myth here very different looks on different rounds, which makes him so much more difficult to read.
Yeah. Perhaps just tune into a rerun of DuckTales because Enigma is swimming like in cash like Scrooge McDuck. Myth though, we're just waiting for them to unleash their arsenal. Look at how many ultimates these guys have. They finally have all rifles on the board.
What?
Conquered a single point away from those Seekers. But yet again, a stall in the battlefield.
No way, they're
Weeds right now.
making a secret.
Trailblazer to get that scout on. But Enigma, they've had the right raids into the right executions. Will they get the pickup this time? That perhaps that A site might be a bit more viable despite the Killjoy utility. Who will walk into what though? Myth ready for the lockdown. If ever that's gonna be the case, but Enigma, they're saying sure, why not? Let's go for it. They bring the spike towards that A site. Myth will be looking to bunch up towards that A link. Keep an eye out because Excali's in the middle and perhaps a flank here from Enigma might be its due.
But they don't have anything to destroy this stack, so they're gonna have to give it on up. You say, well, Duck Dynasty, I say, well, what can they really do? They have to keep swimming on this water. More like the squad here that is gonna just diffuse in front of their face. Kadoom, literally nothing they can do. That Cosmic Divide just keeping them at bay, and with the Hunter's Fury on the pressure,
Unlucky.
seemingly stealing the round away right in the face of it.
That was unlucky. What the fuck just happened?
I understand
Hello?
it, but I honestly can't blame the Enigma. They don't really have anything to break it with utility unless Antidote has the biggest lineup of them all, and you compound it with the
They don't have any post planned. Oh,
so much elements in favor of Myth right now, and that's what we're waiting to see from them. Perhaps this victory can be that breath of life, at least for them. They also did a good hold to set up that crossfire from both
no one
sides
played
of
on
that
site.
A sites. And really, in the silence of A, we now get the thunder of the next round. Gun
I didn't see it. I think no one played on site.
Get the Blade Storm now out and about. Do we get the battle of the Jets? RBK to look at the duel versus Alan's builds. Alan Fields cannot hit the shots. It's RBK yet again. Kadoom is there to make the trade. Still costly for it. That could have been them getting the jump of the gun.
No.
The waiting game into the garage. Patience yet again from Enigma.
They equalize things up to the 4v4, but yes, that B site is open. There's a turret here. Destroyed. He's gonna have to keep now Myth on their toes. They are aware that the possibility of Enigma going behind them is very real. But luckily for them, they're gonna actually just front this right now. You can see Conga Red checking that. I think they spotted the barrel out on him. Wanna Fly does get the kill on the raw fuel. Was kind of busy checking between both angles. Scaling Antidote will do even more, but a trade finally comes here. Holding on to that garage. You can see Wanna Fly trying to make sure they don't cross idly and safely, but that has already been given up. Looking at Enigma, they found themselves all the way here towards that CT spawn, so they are going to be planting for that defender side entrance. Rexy making sure he's got things locked down, and I think Myth have to expect this, but the hard read is going to be much more difficult with the Seekers coming on out. Now their positions are completely known, and on the swing from the logs, he's going to throw him down like a bark.
He made the sound.
Left alive, Dax. It's 1v1 here to post.
Yeah, Wanna Fly though, looking for that clutch. In the meantime, Rexy there on the opposite end. Bit of a defuse here. Rexy though creeping on closer and closer. The shot, but he's unable to get it done. Wanna Fly will not be denied this time. And it's Myth who gets on the board. I feel like that was a little bit of a mistake from Rexy, playing it a little too safe. Rather just swinging on in, getting the proper headshot. He wanted a bit of cover, and instead he got covered down by bullets there.
Man, he wanted to fly, but he's soaring in that round. Be able to go up that high, but still not get too scorched by the solar. Well, able to do everything that his team needed him to. Getting 3 kills to get that defuse off, a 4th at the end of things. What a round here for Myth to rally back. That could be the turning point that Myth have been looking for. Sometimes you need that big time player.
You wanna play safe, right? You don't wanna commit.
Exactly. Those are one of the three names
That's
that
it.
we've seen for Myth rally from between
It's
Wanafly,
like
Alan Phils, and Kadoom. One of
Myth
them
is
pops off,
dominating
it's
or
time to
something.
turn it up to
They're
11.
just
10th
losing
round
the
now on
post
Indo.
plans.
And RVK looking to go into the middle. Wanafly though, his wings did spread a while ago. This time, keeping an eye out towards that B side.
Enigma is looking good.
I think for Myth, they also understand that they can play it a little bit on the slow side with a hint of aggression, since Enigma willing to try and play that rotation game anyway. Wanafly though is not done. Kadoom getting on the board.
Oh
And
dang,
looks like
man.
Mitz
We
has
had the
decided to
read
wake
too.
on up finally into the series. Kadoom
Yep.
getting ready though with a
Oh.
tailwind, but these winds are changing in favor of Myth. 3 for Kadoom, antidote though, pocket fit with the operator, turns around just to die, and now Lone Phils will isolate the last member there of Enigma. 6-4, and it's Myth right now getting back into the beat of things.
And they don't pick up the operator, which is curious. You know, I tend to say sometimes just because you can afford an operator doesn't mean you should necessarily be buying one. In this case, they don't even pick up one for free, realizing that, hey, our rifles have been working. Let's stick to that.
It's always interesting to see Antidote bring out his operator despite whatever agent he's playing though. It's something he loves to do, but this time, I think for Myth, they don't pick it up for good reason. They're understanding that these closer contacts a bit more viable right now if they can get the surprise angle against Enigma per site. And that's how they're going to be getting these first kills. And you can see it there, just the effective fire rate from Kadoom.
Enigma timeout, yeah, but take the time out. You're falling apart.
And this is why I mentioned for both teams, and Enigma especially, getting that first kill is so important because they want to play that rotating game here on Haven. If they're the ones who suffer to the first death instead, they have to go for plan B, which is just go straight into whatever site they're all congregated on. And that works out more in favor of Made in Thailand because shots that do come from someone like Kadoom, you know they're going to be precise, you know they're going to be efficient, and this is how Myth is starting to get back into this half.
No worries, we can still get it back.
From it. As we said, you know, Wanafly, one of those players that he's a match, right? He's a fuse that when he starts to get going, the rest of the Myth team just explode behind him and continue that momentum that he's built up, the inertia that he has continuously just started up here for this squad. Look at that, Nightfall, putting on to the A site, pulling the defense away from the C site, which they're trying to go for. They bite it, but not too deep just yet, not coming to the full rotate. We've actually seen Conga Red divert himself here towards that garage position, and with that flash going off, that confirms his suspicions on the wide swing. Oh no, Dylan, very dangerous.
Flash.
He still gets that
bad flash.
Defense here, looking a bit
bad
difficult
flash.
for Enigma to try and pry on open. As the can remains sealed, they do find a small hole, but Conga Red makes sure it gets plugged immediately. 1v4. It's all on the RVK coming from that long rotation all the way from the A site. But this round is done, Dax, barring some incredible heroics here from RVK.
And he's been clutched before, but this time he cannot be. RVK not okay. Kadoom waiting for him, and Myth now one away from tying things up. A little unfortunate again for Enigma.
Shit.
Could have actually caught out Dylan,
We have a game on our hand, boys. We have a game on our hand.
Surprised that Alan Phils went into heaven there, knowing that they still had that lockdown anyway, but they didn't really over-rotate anyway. They still had someone like Dylan in position, and he doesn't miss those second chances. As soon as Enigma showed their hand, it was so quick from Myth, and the fact that they were looking to play that lockdown towards that A site gave them a head start in that full rotation anyway. So good stuff here from Myth, one away from tying things up, and you can see why they made the top 8 last time anyway.
Definitely have proven themselves to be worthy of the title. Enigma, they're typically used to the inverse happening, them being on the comeback situation, but how do they deal being on the opposing side? How do they deal with having a lead and not letting it slip away? Already kind of has at this point. They have the A site right for themselves.
Okay.
But this round is continually won still by Myth. Then momentum heavily going to that second half is going to be big for the Thailand squad. And that's not the fact that Enigma are going to want to deal with, but the flank here could be huge. RVK has to time this perfectly. That lockdown though might throw a wrench in his plans. If he does get a few kills here, it could completely throw him off guard.
See RVK, he breaks the lockdown this time! Myth cannot rely on
Bro,
this! And
what?
RVK setting up for the prowler,
You knew
but
someone's
fly.
gonna-
Will they want to dive up? Show up just in front of me. Kadoom gonna get on the board as well. Made in Thailand right now, creeping in closer to that spike. A-Long the
Last
board
player
here for Enigma.
standing.
Flash on in just to die and made
Okay,
make it
fam.
6-6. They didn't need the lockdown, they kept their cool, and they kept their advance going anyway.
Man, that was a really difficult situation for RVK to make a call there. Do I continue past this and maybe get a kill and then destroy the lockdown, or you know, take that
What
risk
was
and not
that?
even get a kill and not even have any value, not destroy the lockdown, or do I just secure what rather value I can as of the position I have and simply destroy this lockdown but give myself away? So many risks to take. And unfortunately, the one he chose to take, which was the safest choice, to be
Unlucky.
quite honest with you, to destroy that lockdown, did not pan out in the end. So, Enigma, their lead, squandered. What they've built up, teared away.
They are falling
With a 5-round
apart.
run that we've seen Myth pull out here.
And just a few fundamentals right now, not as sharp for Enigma compared to the first half of that first half. And I guess this is where what you guys were talking about in the panel comes into fruition, that we know Enigma is a team that has so much flexibility. The agent pools of RVK, Excali, Antidote, and Rexy are just ridiculous to look at, to say the least. You're just like, okay, these guys are playing per map, these guys are playing these different roles. But sometimes if you want to move on forward, sharpening those skills can be more effective rather than just having that immense viability around these agent compositions. And I think that's something South Asia as a whole is trying right now, that they're putting their best players on their respective agents, or in this case rather, so you have these players, right? This guy says, okay, I play this agent the best. They're gonna work around it. They're gonna try to make it happen because, for example, here for Enigma, so many of them play different controllers, and it really depends on the map and on the lineup who's playing that smoke role, and that becomes something to really consider a lot for Enigma. Do we narrow down what we're doing in terms of the players? Because someone who's narrowed down with that agent pool is Raw Fuel. He's 12 kills right now. He usually just plays Jet Chamber and focuses on that. Does Enigma have enough of a playbook to compensate for perhaps that lack of sharpness in consistency? Or will they find another way moving forward coming into the second half?
I mean, logically, it wouldn't make sense what I'm about to say, right? But when you're not on the agent that you are typically as comfortable with, you will, at some point, not be as comfortable in even the stuff that you might be with. So, like, in terms of the gunfighting skill and just landing your shots, it might be more difficult on an agent that you're not used to, even though that should have no real bearing logically. Just simply because there's more for you to think about, there's more for you to try and analyze, and there's more for you to have to factor in. Since you're out of that comfortable spot, finding an opening kill here on
Does he push from the defense?
is great. The fact that they ended the second half on the defense 6-6 was already pretty good for them. So opening pick could bode really bad things moving forward in this map for Enigma.
The real Myth stood up there later on.
This is not looking
was a 4K
good.
from Wanna Fly to spread their wings.
This is not looking
go the
good.
distance.
They wait out the
Dawn up
rotate.
and Myth executing quickly towards
Now
that
it's a
A site after
5v4
everything is said
retake.
and done. Enigma so far away, they're gonna have to rotate as a squad.
I don't know who
It
called.
seems like it will be a funnel here for Enigma to try and get out of in the first place. Dead box, meat grinder, whatever you want to call it. Raw Fuel though, breaking Timid turrets. No 6-man right now for Made in Thailand. Igram being taken as well here by Antidote. Star being set on up right now. Quick little dissipate into play 2 for cover. And Raw Fuel trying to go for more. He wants to push on in. Kadoom waiting down in hell. Crossfire being set up here by Myth. And this is exactly what they want to do. Breaking him on the board. Nelly gonna get the takedown in the spots. But
Unlucky.
Myth with that kill box set on up. It's a trap.
They can't do anything there.
Enigma. Made in Thailand takes the
They
lead
were
away.
fucked.
Yeah, not having that man advantage made things so much more difficult, but even with that, they all
I don't know who made
had
that
to
call.
focus on that held position, knowing that there's 2 players on Myth's side, that everybody pretty much forgot about the swing potentially from their wider side towards the graffiti from default, and everything just crumbled down there on after. Myth opening round here of the second half, taken by force, and the lead as well. Looking dangerous for Enigma, but it's only a round that they've taken on over. This is still anybody's game. Sheriffs could come in true, as we see there from a player like Raphael. That comfortability really doing him good things.
Fast play.
On this opening execute, Kadoom just finds an opening that they
Feed them
needed. Here's
equal.
a second, knocking down a third potentially, but it's going to be Dellen to get that trade at the very least.
Yeah, at least one kill here for Enigma.
Oh.
One into the corner, but this time Conga Red.
What, no
also
damage?
helping out each other to get rid
No
of
way, bro.
Scally there. Round's pretty much over. And this was the other concern I was thinking about in this series. If Enigma is a slow starter that they fixed in the first half, Myth has that tendency to lose to Eco. It has cost them many a map in the Thai scene that they suddenly get destroyed by an Eco state. Seems like Enigma unable to step up to that standard. And for Made in Thailand, just the overrun is pretty clear what they want to do. If they can steamroll towards the site and set up their crossfire, that is the best scenario for Mid in the first place. And Conga Red ends the round with a resounding thud, 8-6 now. Mit's taking the first two of the second half, and these are the guns for Enigma this time.
And you can see just their experience, more experience that is on the mid side, really come out in the micro stuff they do. Kadoom on the opening pistol round, he checks his own smoke, the same cloud burst that he threw, just in case someone else was hiding in that, because he was expecting someone to potentially be on site. Then we saw Wannafly there in Graffiti just plug himself towards the wall
now
in
it's
case
the main round.
Scally pop flashed out from CT from the defensive side, knowing that the Sky is still alive, just to make sure he's playing that anti-flash. So small micro things are really telling the tale of why Myth are this far ahead now. Now it's only 2 rounds, yes, but the momentum that they've already built up from that first half going to the second might as well account for more.
And this is just the engine of Myth going into the higher gear by this point. No downshifts required, and quite a run to say the least. I believe they took the last 5 rounds of that first half. Now you add these two, then it's a 7-round streak overall. RVK though needs to be the Brock Lesnar of the situation and end the streak. Throws out the haunts. Didn't live that intel, but he gets scanned in response as well. Enigma now having to play towards that side, but Myth is coming your way and ready to dash on in.
Bruh.
You'll barely miss
Bruh.
Kadoom, and Kadoom has
Bruh.
Kadoom and destruction
Bruh.
towards the A side. 3 already
What?
for Kadoom. A big opening into the caps here. As Made in
Wow.
Thailand making it yet again. 4 already for Kadoom, the true horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
For the ace, and he will get it here. War is coming, and his name is Kadoom.
Kadoom, the Doom Slayer here
GG's.
on this side, silencing Enigma, sending them back down from whence they came. They shall remain. Look at that swing, wide movement from Kadoom, wild shots, all connecting though. And Enigma completely shattered, broken into pieces. A timeout call to try and pick them back up.
Spraying with the Vandal.
The mystery looking to be less shrouded in that mystery in the first place. Made in Thailand making
Why BK will be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right now, and this is where it gets concerning, because when Myth is feeling this hot, the lines that you usually draw for the front line, it gets extended. I think that's one of the biggest strengths, and conversely one of the weaknesses of Myth, that if they're feeling confident, they will push even further. They will set up that crossfire even further into the distance towards the spawn, and we're seeing it right now, how confident they're taking these sites. Enigma unable to keep on up with the pace that the SEA squad is bringing here. And we have been fans of APAC for quite a while. I think we've been doing this for 2 years, right? And we know, for in terms of the regions and their outlooks, once SEA shifts to that higher gear, South Asia does have that tendency to struggle to keep on up. That's just basic results right there. That is historical between the two regions. Enigma, it's up to them to try and break that history, break that cycle, and give us a better future for them as they go for Eco again.
Break the cycle or tear the wheel off in the first place. This situation can be difficult to do.
I never want to know him.
How easy the idea might be. Flash out just for a bit of light, really. Find out where exactly they could be. They know presence towards Zilong is confirmed in Garage as well, so we can expect to see split. But with pistols into Marshall, what can it really do? Not much is the answer. Smith completely shred him on down and take a quick round here to go next one. But Myth, they've reached double digits. That cushion that Enigma had a while ago.
Looking lost.
Yeah, they've been stuck at 6 for quite a while, and in Thailand, just doing all the right things right now to get back into the groove. There were those concerns of consistency from the local stage, but deeper dives into the results, there were many 1-2 losses.
Actually, they
many
don't have
overtimes
anything to
they
stop
brought
them.
on outs. It was just some moments of weakness that they were unable to wake up from. But you already
I
saw
don't know
what has
about
just
the
happened. Look at Kadum now, and look at
Fade
Kadum's
pick up on
end.
him.
He is just a
Maybe
completely
split
different
or
beast.
bind.
And with his
Could have been
chain
better, but I
unchained
don't
by
know
this
about
point,
him.
he is just ready to tear apart Enigma again and again. I like the ambition though from Enigma. Rafiel also on the operator. Might as well make the aggro play work towards this A site. Crossfire is being set as well. Dark cover right now. The Owl drone trying to get a bit of that intel. And a single spot can do it, but Allen Fills, he gets some prime intel, prime value.
Bruh.
Get it now while it's hot. Seeker's also
Base
maybe into
split.
play. And here comes
I mean, B plan.
Yeah, they're taking that B side with full steam ahead. They now know where RBK is, but he still wins the fight. Great job to hold things down. That gives Enigma some
Oh, he
advantage
got
to work
two.
with.
I mean, he
Still
got
gets
my.
another going down here. Antidote knows the
Nice.
again. He finds a double on the Dellen and the lone
Traded.
fields. Everything going their way now here, Enigma. Finally, the round that they need to rally back with, and it's all on the Wanna Fly. He's going to have to absolutely soar past the stratosphere, Dax, to be able to pull this one out of space.
Get ready with your oxygen tanks if Wanna Fly can get things done. But for Enigma, when they're in a pinch, they're one of the most clutch teams in the South Asian scene.
30
I
seconds
see it
left.
from Antidote, I see it from RVK, from Excali, but this time Excali will
Knife him, bro.
chill
There,
there
knife him.
versus Wanna Fly.
Yeah.
We'll bounce
Knife
back
him,
in the
Excali.
end.
What are
Enigma
you
all
doing? Knife
business
him.
to end that round and finally break the streak that Myth has been happy to take.
Continuing on, Dax. Finally around here, that's Enigma
Holy fuck.
needed.
He
The
got
operator
two
that they
there.
bought
How?
didn't even come into effect, so I'm not too sure if Wanna Fly and the rest of Myth, in that case, even know that that is coming to play in this round. They have to expect it at this point, knowing that, hey, they had a lot of economy last round. That Rafiel guy, who had like, what, almost 7,000 credits, should be by now, still went down and lost like a lot, like 5,000 credits. So they have to have some notion that, hey, there probably is an operator on the other side. Myth, knowing that, call timeout. Don't let them continue the streak. They found one round.
What we're looking
Let
at
it
here.
become a second. Don't let things continue to snowball, because snowball can quickly turn into a snowman and an avalanche then on after.
What? Snowball?
You make
Snowman?
a snowball into a snowman and then an avalanche?
Uh-huh.
The
How
fuck?
does the snowman turn into an avalanche? What causes that?
Well, you know how a snowman is typically 3 big round
Bruh. What the fuck?
balls.
Caster
The first one falls
roasting
off, the
each other.
second falls, and
Why
the
would
third
it
one
fall
just
off? Why would it fall off? You
Who
built the
knows?
snowman
Because
for...
things come crashing down, Dax.
Dude, don't make winter references when we don't get winter in this country. Shut up.
Lol.
What are you talking about? We got snow cones.
You get ice shave and that's it. But
Oh,
shave
this.
off this
Oh,
country, so
Oh,
nothing
okay.
so
No,
desperate.
no, no,
But
no.
here we go.
Jet.
Antidote on the inside of the smoke. Yet again, here we go with Nick.
Okay.
The ambition. And Antidote
We got
one
one.
more time, removing the poison from the equation. But Conga Red has read the opposition. And
Ah.
now they go on forward.
Ooh.
Decado hurting his chances.
One for one.
Great stall there for the
Nice.
fighters of RVK. That's what the utility is all about. Stop them in their tracks. Admit, they now have to rethink their plans. They have lost their spear. They have lost that tip, the sharpest one in position. But Conga Red, he wants to be as versatile and as sharp. If ever he can actually see someone too ambitious creeping towards this A-long angle. But Enigma, not biting. And this is a better pace for them. I realized a while ago, we were casting slower because Enigma was able to dictate a slower pace and then execute. Now,
What?
this kind of situation suits Enigma even more so. RBK finding the expedition towards Deled. Wanna Fly also gonna fall. And one by one, Enigma coming out of the woodworks and getting ahead of the action. Rocky already
Nice.
hits the shots. No chance right now for Myth unless Alone Fields can say, I can do
Oh,
this alone.
unlucky.
And oh, he actually
Okay.
won. There's a chance. The win. Unfortunate
Choose
for
one.
Rocky.
You see him trying to choose where exactly to place a recon ball. Information gathered.
No
but
way he's winning this.
enough time to really make much
Maybe
of
grab
it,
the
even
ult.
with the
Oh,
spike
I
in his
mean-
hands. RVK going into long rotate, potentially trap alone feels here, and that he does. Low HP finally
just
confirms
wanted to
it.
die.
Enigma cut the lead down to 2. Yes, pace they're setting. Really, Dax, I thought we were casting slow a while ago because we are lazy bums, but it's
Come back?
definitely
Question mark?
a hard-working group behind both of these teams, and Enigma, for them to come out of the woodwork from the VCC, do this here versus a team like Made in Thailand, who have proven themselves to make it into top 8 last time during stage 1. It's already a good showing, but
I don't know. I feel like
starting to rally back.
this Astra is kind of slow
tying things up
on
very
reaction.
Yeah, don't worry, someone's gonna say that about us, but it's not about us. It's about these players, and it's about Enigma finding ways to start the stopping power by removing Kadoom from the equation. Not going on. It's up to them how they want to play this, but Raw Fuel will be answered by Wanna-Fly.
Lucky.
Absolute denial from the ambition of the operator, and this allows Mid to set up towards that A site. Lockdown into play, but since Mid has that Sova, Alone Fills can let it rip and remove the quarantine from the equation. Cosmic Divide also going to be into play. Perfect timing for Mid right now to silence all the doubters.
Oh, he
Enigma,
got the
they do find one on the
double
side.
flank.
RVK catching out
What?
Fills, so pinch right now from Enigma, looking to be the action here, Black and Blue.
And those are the two initiators as well, so it's gonna be hard to try and stop or clear. But Wanna-Fly found the perfect timing to do all this. He gets one from behind. Conga Red finds a second here, an antidote on that retake, and Kadoom's gonna make
That was
sure
weird,
they're gonna meet their doom here quick and early. 11-8 as Myth finally answered back, not letting Enigma string a third in. Sausage that they were trying to extend even further, cut in half.
Mid's solution to dealing with these flanks are so impeccable because we saw it a while ago, right, when they count out RVK in the middle. We see it right now. RVK will get one. Someone from mid will immediately look to answer that. And that becomes a bit of a problem for Enigma if they want to make these pinch plays work. If you're not watching your back, you should be expecting mid right behind you already. Here's Wanna-Fly. It's a scary sight to behold, but if Enigma will drop their guard after that first kill, Mid will not, and they will continue on. And speaking of continuing, here they come towards A-side yet again.
Oh, nice.
Another execute here, heavy-handed. Almost every single player on the server here towards that A-long position. The opening pick.
Bruh.
Wanna-Fly's way. It's Scally. Oh, he finds great timing to do this.
What?
With the information is able to do it, but look at this. The flash from behind Excali finding a perfect position, but Excalibur taken out of the rock. Shut down by Kadoom. Not letting that go on for too long. Raw Fuel, great pick here. It's all on the Kadoom. He's got the blades to work with, but with a 1v3, he's a superstar in every sense of the word. Let's see how bright he shines here in the 1v3 clutch opportunity.
Has to be absolutely bedazzling with a great hold there from Enigma. They immediately got that read, and that first kill from RVK setting the tone. I think this series in particular will be defined by those first kills. I have mentioned it a few times already, but that has been the power position for both of these squads in the runs and the local stages, respectively. Kadoom, though, can he bring his overwhelming power now to the opposition? Nice catch, though, by Rexy. A bit of a tag operator waiting for him to come.
No, we're peeking. Jet is dying.
And we're not done. 11-9. Enigma getting back to that score line.
Great hold and great contest there towards that A-long position. They're like, hey, Myth, you did it once. That's the only one time we're going to let you do that. We've got a ton of ultimates here to throw right now at Myth. That Nightfall and the Seekers, which we
might grab the ult, KJ
on a while ago.
Grab CO,
absolutely crucial.
KJ.
The fact that they combine that Nightfall with from the shadows here on the right.
We also
reposition pretty much anywhere on the site without them having much confirmation on where it is.
Guy's getting the ult.
It's gonna be very difficult for them, I think, to shut down. So they do get the Seekers up online to maybe try and hamper that exact idea a bit, but still a lot for Myth to work with here. Even if the ultimates aren't necessarily in their favor, they do have quite spread out control of most of the mid position.
Yeah, what?
Oh, Nightfall, actually.
Huh?
Enigma a bit early on before they could get that full intel in the first place. But they
what? Retake? Hello? Question mark? Guys?
From the Guiding Light and the Nightfall being thrown on out. I
mean, it was their goal.
The commitment of the ultimate rather than perhaps the haunt, but what works for them? Let's see if it actually happens here. With the Trailblazer mid also trying to garner some intel right now. So a very systematic game of chess, honestly, between these two teams. Excali gets intel, doesn't even bother to try and go for the shot. Didn't feel like he could get the connection anyway. But mid eventually, as time is running out, go for that A side.
Pull the Seekers out just to try and stall them as the execute is happening, try and react with their movement here, their timing, but they have time. They back off. Yes, they do have time.
They're going B?
Even go towards that C.
Nah, man.
They chose so, but Rafael is waiting with an operator. It seems like the B side Bravo is what they really want to commit to here. Myth, I think they're prepared to try and fend this off. Rather, Enigma and RVK, everything going their way here. Conqueror, the only player to be able to get a kill, but this is completely shut on down.
Bro.
As Enigma making sure they got the firm grasp on that Bravo site. It's Myth who give up around here. 11 to 10. Enigma.
Okay, fam. Come back, fam. Come back.
I think we're just like
yeah.
for the Nightfall, but probably in the minds of Enigma right now, they throw the Nightfall to force Mid to knock towards that C site, and in the end, it works out for Enigma Gaming since they already got to imply that presence towards A. Mid deciding to re-rotate towards B, and it's easy pickings with some great positioning from Antidote and RVK in the first place. These mind games right now have been so systematic. Intel wins wars and is looking to be the factor that wins these rounds for these squad. One away now from tying things
Oh
up.
no. Oh, I mean 1 for 1.
With the first kill, but not with his life. A 1-for-1 trade. Doom ready to go for more. Neither side overcommitting after losing a member.
Tag goes off here. We've got information that there should be at least 2
No, man.
still on this A side. There's a lone fills with a spray. He finds Antidote. Still though, on the side, RBK's got a lot of work to do. Has to bail on out or go aggressive.
No, man. Not like this.
Because of the lockdown, applying
Bruh.
pressure. Lone fills.
What was that?
Could be that match point secured. 4v2. Very difficult to come back from this. Otherwise, look at that drop coming from Excali to do some good work. But the lone fills make sure that that backline is covered. All on the Rexy. Not much utility to work with, not a single smoke, not in any time soon at the very least, and it should be another round going their way. Rexy finds one, but that's all before the round is done. 12 to 10, match point secured. Match point.
Not like this.
Yeah, nice try from Excali, but that's not gonna work against Mid. As soon as they get the post plant, Crossfire is set into multiple intersections. I think
was sick,
if
but
you need a
I don't know
planner
about this
for your
play.
roads, you look at Mid and you look at how they make these lines. Then you're gonna say, okay, it's never gonna be traffic in this city because this is exactly the positions that Mid want to take. The plant goes down, they can play close, they can just trade immediately, and with lesser numbers, it's not gonna work for Enigma. But what can work? Perhaps there's an operator here from Raw Fuel. He got a kill a while ago. Can he do it again?
Mid push.
Resounding applause for Enigma. Mito still happy to play on the slower pace. Try to garner that intel. Excali, he's going red, but unable to get a shot. He does find Kadoom, though. Watchparty now makes the trade work, but the damage done onto Mid. C-side now looking to be the target. Backside being held together by Rexy as well as Fuel. Quick little cloud burst. Blades are out. Conqueror can't see anything, but Wanna-Fly sees one. Rock sitting on the board, hiding by the corner. Alone for the takedown. Wanna-Fly already with 3, and here we go again with Wanna-Fly and RBK. Some of the most clutch players right now for both of these squads. That spike all the way on the left, and RVK actually letting him get to that objective. So this rotation is all about anticipation, black and blue. We'll see if RVK can get the one-up on the opposition.
Oh, but look, see your Wanna-Fly kind of pulling back, not wanting to commit to that C site. This could actually work out for Enigma. They're both really unsure where they could be going. Even RVK is kind of second-guessing himself, but hesitation is defeat. They cannot let themselves fall into the trap of playing themselves and playing the mind games on their own selves here. Myth, Wanna-Fly still waiting, wanting to finally take off, but he's still grounded for the meantime. 36 HP, but a single bullet is all he needs. RVK has a lot more health to work with, but Bulldog, let's see how accurate it really could be at long range. The plant has to go down at some point. He knows that if he taps this, there it goes. That is his timing. He has to stick this. There's no other opportunity. And now they know that is on the C site. Wanna-Fly can tell that RVK CT, but with the low HP can't confirm the kill. Was he so close? What? He left on the man. A breath, a snicker. Kick in the shin would have taken him down, but Enigma lived to fight on another day.
Yeah, RPK, please watch your feet while you defuse. If you trip, you will die. I'm watching him try to not die. Try not to die challenge. Very good. Easy. 12 to 11. Enigma one away from dying and one away from forcing overtime. That number 1 is gonna haunt Wanna-Fly.
I think ADS might have won.
Actually leads to an Enigma Gaming victory, but in the end, he's talked about hesitation. He talked about just defeat in the hands of those who are unsure. But well, for RBK, he was sure that he could still make it towards that C side, played in between A and B just to get that intel in the first place. And we are not done. One more round to go for this amazing show.
C
Do
rush.
we go into overtime or do we end things here at the final round of regulation? Recon ball out to the back to the side. That's going to get a good scan enough for them to have information with on the swing. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. He could connect in the bunch, but it doesn't actually do much. It will though scramble the defenders on the side of Enigma. But still, because of the smoke being in place here and because of the heat that was on that Charlie site, Myth dissuaded, turned around towards going maybe a different avenue, a different way. Don't commit running all the way to A or B though. Looking to maybe re-hit. What exactly is the game plan here?
Sky don't roll the jet.
They wanted to make it towards that C site convincingly, but with Excali's presence, they actually went on back a bit of perhaps some VOD reviews, because we've seen from Enigma, if they have someone planted into enemy lines, then that's where they can just do some decisive damage. Safer play right now from Myth, moving into the garage instead.
No, don't commit.
Has to run on away, couldn't get the shot in time. Conquerant dealing with a Trailblazer too. Guided Light is the play. Here we have the flash into the takedown. Danger close. Name is made in Thailand. And this is looking to be their position of power.
GG's.
Conquerant catching on RBK. All left the raw fuel now. Can he still bring it for Enigma Gaming? 1 versus 3. The operator in hand. The legend in the making that is Raw Fuel. With Alun Phillips first and foremost, and Made Men.
Dogging there, I don't know about that.
They take even 13-11. Respectable scoreline for Enigma, but it's Myth who comes out ahead.
They take it out in the end, but still,
Sag.
quite a performance we did see from Enigma for many times on over in that game. It looked like potentially their map to take. In the end, is squandered away. That lead they were able to get on early as Myth rally back to get them across the finish line first. Great map here for Myth to be winning, especially when they were down. Just shows that they do have a mental fortitude because of the experience that they built upon and really refine their game to be able to come back in these type of dire situations against a team that they arguably are.
Until then, we'll watch. Zeta. We'll watch Tenzin. No, we'll watch Yesu.
Don't die. Yeah, you're good. Never mind, you're just better than him. Hold our spot, don't let us get taken.
I'm trying to loot some heavy real quick.
I can drop you some.
They're diving for bottom. They're diving for left. I'm looking real quick.
Someone's healing over here. Yeah, I just killed one.
Nice.
Perfect. Let's
There's one,
Odella.
he just phased down.
Yeah,
No, it's 3.
Hey, slide down on this, everybody.
Another
Slide down. All good. Go. Come in. You're good.
Getting shot from way out. 50 on him. Arcs.
Talk teams.
You missed.
You guys are down here. Okay.
You're kinda pinched right now, can't lie.
Kraber. 12, full Kraber.
Unless Brandon wants it.
Oh, yeah. No, you take it.
You want it?
No, you take it.
Look, you can shoot them right in the back. You're just standing still. You're standing still right now.
I'm gonna give you a wall right here and you can shoot through it and you can one shot through walls.
Okay. Dead.
Yeah, alright, let's go.
We should probably play off
Go to the
that.
wall, right?
Yeah, go.
45 seconds. Giving my shields a recharge.
Someone's bubble.
Only 2 enemy squads.
2 teams.
Here's a Q.
Scanning.
Gibby on the backside. Hey, kill Gibby. I'm aping Gibby.
Gibby.
I got an arc on him.
88. Dead.
Nice. Play the back wall.
We just got Gibby off him.
Yeah. Take on me.
Oh my god, I got obliterated by that.
Keeping me, maybe?
There's a
Yeah,
Gibraltar.
on my left.
I have no walls for that. What do you want? No walls for 1 sec. Jump behind you, get over it.
140 on him.
100, 120 on the Wraith, 120 on the Wraith.
Here's a Q.
I'm getting angles from the left.
Can we get inside?
We could. I'm chilling on this tree as well.
I'm jumping over. There's one team far.
Okay, I'm just holding. Go to Brandon.
Tossing up some amp.
Look at the Wraith. 45.
team's looking at us hard. 140. I knocked the right. We ape right. We have.
No, portal's on me. I cracked on me.
He's on my ass.
Okay. No problem.
There's one more behind us.
Still over
Oh
here.
fuck yeah.
Pushing you.
Crack the Valk.
You're
Kill
chilling.
Valk.
Other guy's down as well.
Popping a bat.
We're chilling.
We need to get this guy off our back.
I sucked him.
Okay.
He took the portal.
Okay.
Over here.
Please scan this 3. Stay alive. Scanning now. Getting this armor swap.
Yep.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I have 3.
They're behind this rock.
Down one. Push.
Yep.
My scan.
Flash on Ash.
I'm dead.
Alright.
140 on they swapped though. They swapped. Nice. I hit every fucking
Yeah,
trap
good
shot.
shots. Good shots.
Good job.
I feel like I'm fucking god in this all. It's fucking broken.
It's so busted, bro. It's the strafe speed.
It's so fun.
You are the Apex champions.
Sorry chat, I have to go due to some urgent work. I have to end the stream and
We start
yeah,
shooting people.
I will
You know, we start killing dudes. We're frying.
see you guys
Got a 20?
at night
Valve
tonight.
control in rank
Bye
sometimes.
bye, take care.
It makes you, like,
Sorry,
walk out in the
I have
zone.
to do some
I'm telling you,
urgent
this
work.
character is
Bye bye.